The 2010 decade is coming to a close soon, so it's time to share my top 10 winners with you. Here are my favorite winners from this decade. Let's talk Eurovision. What's up, you fools? It's Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel, and yes, we're only halfway through the 2019 calendar year, but we all know, in Eurovision terms, it's done, right? We have our winner. The 2019 contest has come to a close, so we're all about 2020, which are now the 20s again, which is so weird because we still think of the 20s as the 1920s, but anyway, different story. Anyway, so I figured now it's time to share with you my personal favorite winners from this decade. I'll give you the top 10, so I'll include all songs from 2010 to 2019 and share my thoughts, which is always a risky thing to do because people don't like opinions that differ from theirs, but hope you'll enjoy the video anyway, and if you enjoy our videos, hit that subscribe button. That is always appreciated. So let's get this thing started because it's going to be a controversial one. So, in 10th place, my 10th favorite winner, which technically is my least favorite winner, is 2011. So, hear me out, here's my explanation. So, I was in Düsseldorf, Germany that year, had really good tickets, actually. I was pretty at the front there, and I remember when Azerbaijan was announced the winner, everyone around me was like, it was like this polite applause, like, you know, don't want to be rude, but people were very confused. And as we were walking out waiting for a taxi, people were like, yeah, Azerbaijan won. I don't know why. I'm like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I don't get it either. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. That was my feeling the entire time. Honestly, I never thought that Running Scared was a qualifier, much less than a winner of the contest. And I'm trying to look at it lyrically, vocally, visually. It was all just very underwhelming and just way below expectations. And I'm trying to look at the good things because it sounds like I'm very critical, but this was one of the few times where a winner has very few redeeming qualities. Has a decent melody, maybe, but it's just, I don't get it. I really don't get it. So that is my 10th place, also known as my last place. 9th place, my 9th favorite winner of the 2010s is, and I think a lot of people will be upset already because it has a good amount of supporters, it's 2013, Only Teardrops. And I know, don't hate me. But has this happened to you? Like, there is the song this year, right? It's the fan favorite, at the top at the betting odds, it's on top of the fan polls and all of that, right? And then you look at the song, you listen to it, and you think, what am I missing here? What am I missing? And that was Only Teardrops to me. To this day, I'm still trying to figure out why it was so immensely popular, what the mass appeal was there. Like, even the flute part to me was actually annoying because it was so repetitive. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Over and over again. I guess the song just ran right past me, and I can't love them all. That is how I feel about this one. That is why in 9th place. Moving on, my 8th place is 2015. So, maybe I'm biased here because I was such a big fan of Il Volo, so take it with a grain of salt. But let's just judge the song, put that aside, and judge the song on its own merits. I'm slightly struggling to follow the jury's logic here, putting Heroes in first place. I mean, listen to the chorus. The chorus is the same two lines repeated over and over again. We are the heroes of our time, and we're dancing with the demons in our mind. Heroes, and then again and again. I just don't find that very creative. And that really, I couldn't get past that point. Now, visually, absolutely, it was a feast, right? It looked amazing, and with the camera work, it was like, wow. It was impressive, and I'm not taking that away from it, and I will also say that Mans, to me, is quite talented. So, and he had some other music that I really enjoyed. This song just wasn't quite for me. It's the kind of song where I actually prefer the verses over the chorus. So if they would have chosen a different chorus and kept the verses, there was something there. But overall, that's why it is so far down on my list. Just trying to give you an explanation. In 7th place, and before I tell you who that is, let me just tell you, from this point on, I have an appreciation for all the winners. I think that the 10th were a great decade, and none of these songs are bad at all. As a matter of fact, most of them are fantastic. So my 7th place, I would put in the I'm okay with this winner category, and that is 2016, Ukraine. So, look, 1944 overall, not my kind of song. Pre-contest, it was like non-existing on my playlist, but hear me out, I can't see why it won and why people gravitated towards it. It was visually stunning, and Jamala gave it her all. Like every single rehearsal, she brought in the emotions, and it was fantastic to watch. And it was a showstopper. I mean, you have these moments when you watch the contest, certain moments where you just remember, oh my God, that was cool. And that is why this song did so well, because it had these moments, that big note, and just the vibe that this song really gave off. And it was done really well. It was very well executed. So I'm definitely have a much bigger appreciation now than I had before the contest. And that is what a good performer does. Now, it's a controversial winner. I get that as well, because it's borderline political and all of that stuff. But to me, I don't dislike it. I'm actually okay with it. Even though it wasn't my personal favorite that year, I can live with the win. I can live with the win. And here are the top 6, and from here on out, it's impossible to rank them because I love all 6 songs. So I really had to look at different criteria and factors that I had to take into consideration to rank them. But let me just point this out. All songs going forward are high up in my ranking every single year. So, in 6th place, and that is one of the probably more controversial ones, 2012. I know. Euphoria only in 6th place? What is wrong with you, Matt? Are you just putting it this far down because everyone loves it? No, because I do love that song. I do think it's fantastic. I remember watching it, and I didn't watch the rehearsals that year because I had stuff happening in my life, but I watched the show, and I was like, when it came on, like, we can stop the show now. It won. I mean, there's nothing else to say. That was a winning performance, and it felt right. It was a deserving winner. It was fantastic. And every time Euphoria comes on at Euroclub, I go nuts. Just like everybody else, for that reason. It's a classic. It deserves all the accolades and praises that it receives. Not taking that away from it at all. So the only reason why it's lower on my list here than some of the others is what some people might have at least hoped or expected. It's just due to the fact that the other songs are more in line with my personal taste, and they exceeded expectations in certain areas, and I'm going to explain why in a moment. And Euphoria is usually not my go-to genre, but I feel as it is the best example for that genre, and that is why it is still a fantastic song. Just trying to explain to you why it may not ending up in my top 5. But again, 6th place doesn't mean I don't like it or think it's just okay. It is fantastic. We just had so many good winners this decade. One of the strongest decades, in my view. Moving on, my top 5, my 5th place, 5th best winner of this decade, 2010. Germany, yes. So this decade started with a bang in my view, and my country of origin. It won the contest for the very second time, actually. And Lena just really captivated people's attention. It was fascinating. I mean, she won the jury show with a very shaky vocal performance, and that says a lot. And it was a simple staging. It was just Lena doing her thing, her goofy dance stuff, but she just oozes personality, and she just did such a wonderful job with that. It was so charming. I was smitten by her. The song also has attitude. It's a little sassy, and I just think it's incredible likable. And almost 10 years later, it'll be 10 years in 1 year, I still have the song stuck in my ear and hum it all the time. And it feels still relevant now. It's more of a timeless song, for lack of a better word. In that sense, like if it were on in the charts right now, I still feel people would like it. And I think that's a very powerful thing. And I give him a lot of credit for that. Was she the best vocalist to ever grace the Eurovision stage? No. I think we all can agree on that. But nevertheless, I just really love the song. It's getting more and more difficult, but here is my fourth place. Fourth best winner of the 2010s is Israel. Look, thank you, Israel, first of all. Thank you for this song. I think that it's the best upbeat song of the decade, and granted, there isn't much competition in that category, but nevertheless, it's still a fantastic song. And I like it for many different reasons. It has like a Middle Eastern sound to it, so to me, that is just a little bit more authentic alone. And like at least a little bit of a vibe. It's catchy. It is still chart friendly. Like it has this pop friendly sound that people can connect with it. And Netta on stage was just a powerhouse. You just wanted to root for her. And that is exactly what I did. I was rooting for her so hard. And it's quirky lyrically. You can have fun with it. It's a little bit experimental with the chicken sound and all of that stuff that rub people the wrong way, some people. But I thought it was a daring choice, going with something different, and it worked in my view. Now, don't get me wrong. There are certain parts of the lyrics that bother me. Like, I'm not your toy, you stupid boy. It's kind of silly, right? It's like, come on, don't call us stupid. But I get it. You know, first of all, it's also just so catchy, though. Like, we all remember those two lines. I'm not your toy. And that is what it does. So, yes, it was not a lyrical masterpiece, but that is not what they came out to do, right? Putting forward that. I don't mind it, because I will dance the chicken dance every time this comes on, and I'm not ashamed to do so. Moving on to my top three here. It's not easy, but as you can see, there is a little pattern here. Yes, I do have a big appreciation for the good, powerful ballads that won this decade. It's just how it goes. But let me break it down. This was not easy. The song that I put in third place is 2019, Arcade. So let me explain. Arcade touches my heart. It touches my heart so much. It was emotional. It was very well performed by Duncan on top of it. And one of the Netherlands' best effort in many years. And a deserved winner, obviously. I'm needless to say that. So you may be asking, why isn't it higher in your ranking then if you love it so much? First of all, third place is a great ranking. There's just so much competition there. And I think there are two reasons I used to not put it in second or first place. Number one, I do think that the staging could have elevated the song even further. I mean, it finished third with the juries, second with the televoters, I believe, and it still won because it was still overall a fantastic song. But I think if they would have executed it even more effectively, I think this could have gone even higher. And the other reason is because so little time has passed, and that is not the song's fault. The other songs I listened to for years, I have this nostalgic association and warm feelings, fuzzy feelings with it. So if you make me do this list again in a year or two, this may be even higher. So these are the only reasons I have why I put it in third place and not higher up. But it is a fantastic song. I cannot stress this enough. And I'm so happy for the Netherlands. I cannot wait to go to insert host country right here. So that leaves me with two songs, 2014 and 2017. And once again, it was very difficult. And let me just explain to you why I love both songs. First of all, in 2014, Conchita Wurst won over everyone's heart. Not everyone's heart, actually, but a lot of people that were skeptical were like totally into it. I mean, I was totally into it for sure. I never had a problem with her in the first place. Some people are saying the only reason Conchita won was because of the act, right? The woman with the bearded lady and all of that stuff. And while this may have played a factor in it because it was visually memorable, let's not forget that the song was fantastic and staged insanely effectively. It was so good. The first time I listened to it, like in the preview videos, I was immediately into it. I can close my eyes, doesn't matter what that person looks like. It was just very well executed. Great lyrics as well. And that is what I really connect with. I cannot help it. I'm not a lyric snob by all means, but I do when the lyrics and the words make sense and have a good, powerful message. I tend to be more connect with it more. And The song is just so empowering, and I love that about it. Yes, it has a James Bond vibe, but it was done well, because often people don't do it right. As said, Conchita filled the stage with her personality and her voice, beautiful staging, and it was just a feast. Absolutely. I love the song to pieces, and it has everything that I'm looking for in a song. And the other one, 2017 Salvador, which is so interesting. Portugal for the longest time sucked at Eurovision, right? I mean, the best result to date was a 6th place, I believe. They hardly have had any good results. And then Salvador comes along and blows us all away. And it's another fantastic song that touches your heart. It touched my heart. Salvador has a unique interpretation, and the way he sings the song, it's to me just very dreamy and just really puts you in a certain place, and I just want to stay in there for the entire 3 minutes and potentially even longer. Yes, some individuals may be turned off the way he does his weird hand gestures and stuff. You know, he's an interesting fella, but I didn't mind it. I wasn't turned off by it. And to me, I feel like he is in the zone, he feels the song, and it works totally for me. You don't know what he's singing, because unless you speak Portuguese, that is, but that is okay. And that's why the song is so good, because he has the ability. It transcends language, the song. I can feel the emotions that the song radiates. And when it's done right, it is the most beautiful thing. And that is exactly what the song got accomplished. Salvador may not be for everyone, that song, and I can understand that, but for me, it completely worked. And I just think Portugal peaked, and hopefully they'll peak again, because, so good. So, after much thinking and consideration, I finally have come to a conclusion. My favorite winner of the 2010s is, not by much, 2014. So yes, listen, it was a difficult thing, a difficult task to rank all of these songs to begin with, but especially the last two, because they're virtually tied. I give Austria the upper hand just a tad, just because I find myself listening to Rise Like a Phoenix a little more on a more frequent basis, and I get never tired of that song. I don't think it ever was a time where I skipped it on my playlist. And it's goosebumps every time it comes on, and we need more songs like that. So this was my personal reason why I put it in first place. But once again, fantastic songs, a great decade. I'm looking forward to the 20s, the 2020s. It's so weird. But I would love to hear from you. I hope you're not too mad if your favorites are lower on my ranking. And if not, great, we agree. Leave your thoughts below. Give me your ranking or thoughts on the winners. Would love to hear from you. I will be back soon with the next video. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good whatever.